Please recognize that in this one accord, we're seeing the church and its people become a people of prayer right from the very beginning. We cannot undermine the power and the purpose of prayer. Let me share with you what one of the theologians said, and I quote, "These believers believed in prayer. Prayer plays a significant role in the story of the church as recorded in the book of Acts. The believers prayed for guidance in making decisions here in Acts 1, 15 through 26. They prayed for courage to witness for Christ in Acts 4. In fact, prayer was a normal part of their daily ministry. See Acts 2, 42 through 47, Acts 3, 1, Acts 6, 4. Stephen prayed as he was being stoned, Acts 7. Peter and John prayed for the Samaritans in Acts 8. And Saul of Tarsus prayed after his conversion in Acts 9. Peter prayed before he raised Dorcas from the dead in Acts 9, 36 through 43. Cornelius prayed that God would show him how to be saved in Acts 10. And Peter was on the housetop praying when God told him how to be the answer to Cornelius' prayer. The believers in Mark's house prayed for Peter when he was in prison, and the Lord delivered him both from prison and from death. That's Acts 12. The church at Antioch fasted and prayed before sending out Barnabas and Paul in Acts 13. It was at a prayer meeting in Philippi that God opened Lydia's heart in Acts 16. And there was another prayer meeting later in Philippi, also in Acts 16, that opened up prison doors. Paul prayed for the Ephesian elder, all of his friends, the Ephesian elder friends, before leaving them in Acts 20. In the midst of a storm, Paul prayed for God's blessing in Acts 27. And after a storm, Paul prayed that God would heal a sick man in Acts 28. In almost every chapter in Acts, you find a reference to prayer. And the book makes it very clear that something happens when God's people pray. Something happens when God's people pray. This is certainly a good lesson for the church today. Prayer is both the thermometer and the thermostat of the local church. For the spiritual temperature either goes up or down depending on how God's people pray or don't pray. End quote. If you listen to John Bunyan, the author of Pilgrim's Progress, he says that prayer is a shield to the soul. It is a sacrifice to God, and it is a scourge to the devil. The last thing in the world the devil wants to see is God's people pray. For when we are in prayer, we are being empowered and directed by His Spirit. 31 times and in 20 chapters in the book of Acts, prayer is directly referenced. And it's done in the essence of this koinonia over and over and over again, that it is a we, not just a me issue. Biblical, persistent prayer is a we, not just a me issue for God, for His church, for we, His people. May we be a people who fast and pray together, intentionally,